Hey folks, I'm Alex Story with Skill Mammoth Digital. This is day 14 of me building my digital marketing agency in public. Just a quick explanation of what this is. Every single day, I just talk about my business. I show you the behind the scenes of how much money we're making, what we're doing to get more money, kind of the process behind like my line of thinking, how we're fulfilling these things, and of course the strategy that we're doing to improve, right? So those 4 questions: revenue, sales, fulfillment, strategy. My business is a digital marketing agency that focuses on the trades. And we do that by building websites, SEO, ads, and of course, automation, which is kind of our differentiator. It makes us sticky and more, I would say effective than your average marketing agency is we get things working, right? Speed to lead, etc. So yeah, let me just jump into it. So what did I make, right? So we made $42,130 in the last 30 days. That number is lower than yesterday just because I haven't made any new sales today. And, as if I don't make new sales, that number is going to go down because I just had an incredible month so far. It'll hopefully evens out at 20,000. I want it to be 20,000 plus. Obviously I want my MRR to be higher. My MRR is still around 13K. And so I'd like that to be a lot higher. But if I include my project revenue, I would like it to be 20K plus for the last 30 days. I would say that's successful for me. All right. What am I doing to get more? No new meetings. Lots of fulfillment today, so I didn't do a lot, but I did do some work on personalization for my email copy. So I'll show you that in just a moment. I'll just show it to you now, actually. So I'll show you my cold email sequence. I'll try to make this kind of quick, and I'll put this in the post. But basically, you can see the template on the left and the actual send, like once you put the variables in on the right. I stole this idea from a competitor, actually. The cold email got to my client, and my client showed me their email. I'm like, you know what? If it worked enough for my client to show me your email, it has to be doing numbers. So I took a lot of similar things that they did, which was like, hey, a competitor is ranking higher than you, and I'm using that. And I cleaned it up a little bit because I didn't want it to look like it was too automated. So I cleaned up the way that the companies were named. I took out all the LLCs and stuff. Same thing with their competitors. And then I did, I put their market in there, put their search terms in there, and I did some clean personalization. So I'm calling out, like, if they have like lots of reviews, for example, I have that in there, but I cleaned it up to make it more human. Instead of saying like, you have 527 reviews, it says you have 500 plus reviews, because that's what somebody would actually type. They wouldn't say an exact number. And we'll see how it performs. I'll split test it against like some other offers that I've done in the past that have had success and see if there's an actual differentiator here. But I'm hoping we do pretty good. You can see email 2 here. This is where I throw in the risk reversal at the bottom. I also throw in some proof in the middle. I don't have any proof in this first one. Proof is just, an example of somebody I did the job for. So threw my risk reversal in here, threw my proof in here. So we'll see how that goes. And then my last one is this breakup. So yeah. But other than that, that's what we got going on. If you have feedback, for those of you who do cold email, just let me know. I'd love to know your tips. I have some success with cold email. Like it pays for itself and then some, but I know I could be a lot better with it, right? I'm typically on the lower end of what kind of positive reply rate I'm getting. So anyway, let's jump back to, now that I've talked about sales, I'll talk about, the other thing that I want to talk about sales-wise is I have this in-person list from like an event I went to. So it's got emails and names and numbers and all that kind of stuff. So one of the guys at that networking event said he had a referral for me. So I'm at least going to reach out to him before I close out for today. But I might just hit the whole list and just ask for meet and greets. Usually when you shake that tree, when people have more than a couple minutes to talk to you, they can see your offer and they might, some people come out of the woodwork, right? And it's a little bit easier of an ask than a sales call, but we'll see what happens. What am I doing to keep the money? So lots of work done today, lots of heads down fulfillment, probably like 12 to 14 hours of fulfillment just today. Got a big app that's almost delivered. So I had the conversation with the client today. He ran through it and gave me his feedback, and I just got to do those fixes. And then we're like 99% of the way done. Just really, once he approves it, we're good to go. And then it's 4K on delivery and 400 a month. How I did this deal, it was 4K up front, then 4K on delivery. And then, that 10K deal that I sold last week is almost done. And that's just because, that's the power of, intellectual property because I had built a lot of this already. It was very easy for me to replicate it. So I probably put 16 hours total this week into that job, and it's almost done, like 99% done. And most of it is waiting on my client to share like his like, DNS provider access, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, task load's down to 5. Yeah. And we're going to keep on moving and grooving. I have one client that's waiting for a reply for me, but I just didn't have enough time to work on that. So I'll get to him this weekend. So what am I doing from a strategy perspective? So I'm still hiring. To the Maker Zero member who DM'd me, I'm not ghosting you. I'm just busy, right? I'll email you next steps to see if you're a fit in the coming days. And then the least fun part of the weekend, right, is my books, right? So I got to just catch up for 2026 for my bookkeeping. So I'm just going to sit down and do that this weekend just to get caught up. Before the IRS comes and shoots me in the face. I did not pay my quarterlies in. And this is my first year officially without paying in because of my salary job. I left my salary job in early 2025. So I got some grace that year. So I should get, this will be my first offense for not paying in. So I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I think tax-wise I should be good just because it's my first year on my own. They'll give me forgiveness, but I still got to do it, right? I need to get my taxes in order. And yeah, I'm just going to plan on doing that this weekend. All right. Yeah. So down day, that isn't a bad day, right? So the number dipped a little bit, but the pipeline got loaded. The plate got cleared. Some days you build a runway instead of the number. Let me know what you guys are doing. I'd love to shout, out your successes, give you any tips that, I can give you from the problems that you're running into. And yeah, let's keep on growing. Bye for now, everybody.